All new at 6, for more than 3 years, new low-income apartments have sat empty in the heart of Iwilei.
The project got held up by rules over financing and housing requirements and a challenge finding the right manager for the complex.
But as our investigative reporter Allison Blair reports, the city and state finally solved the problems to help people who need it the most.
According to the Department of Health, those 27 units will be permanent housing for people who've been diagnosed with a serious mental illness but are stable enough to live on their own. We're told the goal is to have residents living there in the next 2 months.
So this is the bedroom and living areas.
Cozy and functional. This is one of 27 studio apartments located above the Behavioral Health Crisis Center at the corner of Sumner Street and Iwilei Road.
All of the units have their own refrigerator, microwave. There's a small cooking stove.
In addition to having all the comforts of home, some features are unique.
All of them have this call or emergency button.
Designed specifically to meet the needs of people who live here.
There'll be folks who have already been diagnosed with mental health disorders.
Dr. Chad Koyanagi says many of the applicants are either homeless or at risk of being homeless, but through the help of outreach workers, case management, and often medication, are now stable enough to live in a place on their own.
So these folks can stay here and not expect to have to move.
Getting to this point has been a monumental struggle. After construction on the $17.2 million facility wrapped up in 2022, the apartments sat empty more than 3 years due to red tape created by the way the Caldwell administration chose to pay for the project. Back then, money was pulled together from multiple sources, like the city's general fund, federal funding, and bond money. Officials say it's those bonds and the rules associated with them that have long prevented people from moving in. That wasn't the only problem.
There were a lot of plumbing issues. There was flooding downstairs. We believe it was just because it was vacant for a very long time.
On top of that, plans for who'd be housed here changed, which meant contractors had to be hired to renovate units that had never been lived in at an additional cost of $284,000. Now Koyanagi says there's finally light at the end of the tunnel.
It'll create not only a place where people can get permanent housing, but I think it's going to be a very positive kind of beacon in the community that folks living in a beautiful unit like this can have dignity and safety and health care and happiness.
Dr. Koyanagi says there's already a waiting list. We're told rent will amount to no more than 30% of a resident's income. Meanwhile, on-site services will be provided by Care Hawaii. Allison Blair, Hawaii News Now.